Well, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We made it to the 1 month mark. It's been exactly 1 month since I have started this YouTube channel, this show, this thing. I still don't really know what we're calling it. And it has blown all metrics out of the water of what I thought it was going to become. I actually thought it was going to be something slower growth, but there's been a lot of hype and interest around the content, and I don't know if it's the topics or the presentation of it, or maybe it's both. I don't know, but it's been a wild month. Even like behind the scenes, some weeks I'm able to put out episodes almost daily, other ones maybe once a week, and that kind of shows how this all flows. That it's meant to be fluid, even in my own operational side of it, of how I can like managing the logistics of everything, getting this moving. And it's been a lot of fun. So I just want to say thank you. And with that, I am doing a 1 month AMA. I've already filmed it. It's not out yet. So that should come out today. I have goals of releasing that at some point today. It's a long video. It's going to be longer than today's episode. Today's episode, I have a sense it's going to be shorter, which is fine. It's okay. But that one, I answered every question so far, and I don't know if I will be able to do that next time, if there is a next time. Whenever we choose to cross that bridge, that might be a little bit more difficult, tricky, because I looked over and it was like almost an hour of unedited, just footage. I'm like, whoa, that's going to be a while for me to edit that. Last one I filmed that was about an hour was the last episode of this podcast, where I was more or less documenting me playing with AI music and seeing how that was going to look. So, yeah. Look, I just want to tell you guys from the offset that I'm going to pause production for the next couple days. Luckily, it's also the weekend, so I normally don't do anything on the weekend. That's my family time. But I will be back as soon as I am caught up on everything. I have a backlog of all these things that need to be converted into the podcasts, some of them need to be edited down to shorts. I have a laundry list that's getting just bigger, and I'm not finding the time as I keep trying to, and there's a trade-off. Something has to sacrifice for something else within these 24 hours. So I'm going to make the time and just focus on getting, up to speed on the other stuff. These edited videos and things on YouTube are going just fine, but it's the stuff behind all that is what's holding me back a bit. So, okay. With that, again, wow, a month. Just thinking about that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Today's drink of choice is a tumbler Dr. Pepper, but not necessarily real Dr. Pepper. In fact, it's just water. Water's better when it's drink through a straw. I had my coffee today, and it's off frame, but I filmed a Talos of EV podcast shortly, and then I had to step away and tend to my child, and now I'm back. So it is what it is, but I was able to go work on some other stuff, and yeah, it's been crazy. This week's theme had been interestingly focused on iPad, and I find it very interesting that we have diehards for iPad to the point where they're fighting me about my stance on iPadOS, while also agreeing with me that it's not being fully optimized, which is weird to me, right? That's weird. I get it, guys. Look, I get it. I have my iPad right here, okay? I use it like religiously. This is my favorite hardware device. I made that right from the offset. I made that comment saying that this is the perfect hardware, but the software is lacking. And I don't get why people are coming for me on that, to be honest. I don't understand. iPadOS is perfect for what it is. It might be perfect for you, but you're not like if you can run the same procedures of things on an iPad mini and a regular iPad 10th gen and an iPad Air and an iPad Pro all the same and it really doesn't matter, barring some stage manager thing or pro app, like that's not enough. I did something and I haven't posted it on Twitter yet or put it on YouTube on the community tab, and I wanted to. I'm going to do it here first, and I will probably I'll post this eventually. But I want to share something. I spec'd out top tier iPad Pro that I could buy right now, and I spec'd it the way I would have spec'd my MacBook Pro. And guess what? It's so much more expensive to do it on the iPad. I'll share numbers. I will share numbers. $3,525.91. That's what it would have cost me to get a spec'd out iPad Pro 13-inch with the pencil, because this pencil can't transfer over, with a new keyboard because that keyboard can't transfer over. I have to buy everything brand new, and since it's supposed to be, the perfect all-in whatever. Oh, I just paired. It's interesting. I just paired my pencil to the iPad, and it says, "What's new for Apple Pencil? Scribble, smarter handwriting notes, switch tool gestures." When you tap, okay. Did my pencil just get I think my pencil just got an update. Weird. Anyway, I spec'd out the iPad to treat it as like it would be the Mac replacement, which means 2 terabytes. And that's the highest I can go. My Mac right now is 4 terabytes, and I need those terabytes, but I can only go up to 2. So I spec'd out to 2 terabytes. I did, excuse me. I don't know why I got winded there, thinking. I got the keyboard and the pencil because I would use the keyboard for like hotkey commands and the pencil for, drawing and animations and stuff like that. And I also gave it the nano texture display because I like it. I want to get paper-like for this thing. I don't want to have a glossy, fingerprinty screen that makes it difficult when I'm then writing. So the nano texture would help a lot with that. And I got AppleCare because insurance. That's a $3,000 purchase. Heck yeah, I want insurance on that thing. Oh, and I also got cellular because one thing that the iPad can do on the hardware side that the Mac can't is cellular. So I also spec'd it up to be cellular, and so I can work wherever I go with or without Wi-Fi, and I would be good. I did all that. And that is more or less what I did with this iPad Pro, the 2018 iPad Pro, minus the storage config. I only took it up to 256. I spec'd everything to fit my needs to be that Mac replacement. So I did it. Over $3,500 to do that. Okay? I could swallow such a difficult payment. I could make it work if I was smart with my money and I budgeted correctly. If the software supported that. And listen, no one was fighting me about saying that like the hardware's not being fully optimized. Nobody was like, "No, you're wrong." They're just like, "It's fine." It's weird that people aren't accepting criticism. I find it weird. Is it? Oh, the iPad's in my cart right now. Crazy. Okay, so I'm on Apple.com, and I'm going to spec out a Mac the same way. If I had to do it again right now, I'm going to spec out a Mac, and I'm going to see what that's going to cost me. and I'm going to spec it out fairly the way I have my Mac today. So right now I'm using an M1 Pro MacBook Pro, and now that theoretically isn't working anymore. It's gone. It's done. So what would I get? I have a 14-inch, so I'll be fair. I'll keep it 14. I would still spec it out to, wow, there's a lot of options. You look at these unified. Wait a minute. Holy moly. I'm perplexed. M3 Max, M3 Pro, M3 Pro. There's so many cores. And then we just have regular M3. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to do M3 Pro again. And it says starting with a terabyte, which is so interesting to me. But okay, yeah, we'll do this one. I'm just going to spec it out. And then I'm going to spec again 1-for-1 on what the iPad is. So a 14-inch MacBook Pro with, I currently have, so we have a 14-core CPU, 30-core GPU, and 16-core neural engine. And that's upgrading it, by the way. The chip processor. This is very interesting. I have CPU, GPU. We're gonna keep it. Those are binned chips, though, right? I'm gonna keep it. The chip is fine for what it is, but the memory, 18. Oh, starting 18. Because I think my RAM right now, I need to take a look. I think my RAM, 32 gigs of RAM. Okay, well, we don't have 32. Now it's 36. So we'll do 36 gigs of RAM. 4 terabytes. I already have Final Cut and Logic, so I'm not going to put them on the iPad. And that's it. Okay. So now we are looking, if I was to price out the Mac exactly 1-for-1, what I did, I am looking at $3,799. So we're looking at $3,800. So $300 more gives me more options with the M3. Those are Max chips. Yeah, I have an M3 Pro. So for 36 gigs of RAM, the RAM's important to me. I like the RAM. So for $300 more, I get double the storage. I get more RAM. I get 36 gigs of RAM. And I have an M3 Pro. Now, okay, people are like, well, you have an M4 chip, and maybe that's enough. Maybe. So let's entertain that. Let me price out a MacBook Pro, because I would get an iPad Pro, MacBook Pro. We're going to see in the Pro lineup. I'm going to price out a regular Mac, and we're going to just do an M3 MacBook Pro. Okay, so new config, 14-inch still. Okay, M3, and my options are either here we go. Memory, 8 gigs or 16 gigs. Jeez. Just the fact that like you can go down to 8 gigs though. How many, you get 16 gigs for iPad Pro, right? So we're going to do 16 gigs, 1-for-1. That's 2,000 right from the rip. 18 gigs of memory, 16 gigs of memory, 2 terabytes of storage. Power watt, 70 is fine. And that's it. For the same configuration, minus the fact that it's an M3 and not an M4, for the same configuration, MacBook Pro, 14-inch instead of 13, I can't go any smaller, I would pay $2,400 instead of $3,500. I would be paying $1,100 more for an iPad Pro with the accessories and everything to go with it to equate it with a Mac, and I get a limited software iPadOS. Is iPadOS worth $1,100 difference for you? That's That's 4 figures. That's an iPhone. That's an iPhone Pro Max. That's expensive. I don't get it. I can't justify spending any amount of money like that and not have a calculator app. I don't know. I don't know. That's too much. That's too much of a difference right there. So a 1-for-1 MacBook Pro, iPad Pro. I would pay $2,400 for the MacBook Pro, $3,500 for the iPad Pro. And if I took away the pencil, okay, if I took away the pencil, that's $100-something. So it's still $1,000 more just to get the keyboard. No. I get a better, fully optimized Final Cut, Logic. I could do things like OBS and run this show, do this podcast. And I save $1,100 in the process. 1-for-1 spec. You get the full suite of everything that goes into those pro applications, Final Cut and Logic. And I emphasize on Logic first because I live in Logic before I really tinker with Final Cut like that. Like, I don't know all the shortcuts and best tricks of the trades for Final Cut, but I know everything you need to know about Logic. That's crazy. Absolutely maddening. Or I pay, say my budget is $3,500. I pay $300 more and I get a better product with the MacBook Pro in every way. Double the terabyte storage from 2 to 4 terabytes. Yeah. But people are going to come for me because I said iPadOS is lacking. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. That's crazy. That's maddening. That's literally maddening. Listen, I'm all for finding the good fight. You want to be your little stan and toxic fanboy for Apple. Fine. It doesn't change the fact that the OS sucks right now. And maybe when I did that video, maybe I misspoke in some elements about saying Mac OS. When I say Mac OS, I'm not talking maybe a 1-for-1. I'm talking to increase iPadOS so intensely that it takes more elements of Mac OS and less from iOS. Because right now, it's a 1-for-1 with iOS. It is. The Stage Manager be damned. I don't care. What good is Stage Manager if I don't have like a menu bar that I can do like certain core functions? I saw this video that 9to5Mac did talking about iPadOS and it, equating it to Mac OS. And I thought it was so much better, more well articulated than my video, which is why they almost have 1 million, subs. There's just certain things that's lacking. There's clunkiness in it. There's no efficiency. It's like I have hotkeys that I could just program. I can download apps from the web and use them. OBS. I keep saying OBS because this is how this works. My audio is being recorded into OBS. My video feed is being recorded into OBS, which then I could, if not Final Cut, I could put to LumaFusion, fine, but I need OBS. And I need to have the ports to work. I need my camera, my Sony camera to work. I need this mic to work. I think this is an SKG. AKG, excuse me, SKG. I need, my preamp is a Focusrite, a Scarlett Focusrite. I need these things to work. My keyboard needs to be able to plug in and work as intended, like it does on Mac, right? My amp, my literal amp. I don't know if you can see it off frame. I have my guitar that's behind me over here, and in between my guitar and my piano, from what I see in the framing here, there's an amp right there. That's an amp that goes right into my Mac. Guys, I need iPad to do all that, which it theoretically could because it has the same ports now, so nothing changes with the I/O, but the software stops it from happening. I can't be a musician in today's world. I can't write the music, export the music, or it's called bouncing in Logic. Bounce the track, have a catalog, a proper catalog on my tablet to like manage my files, previews. Like like macOS, one of the greatest macOS features that only Mac does is you click once on something, you hit the space bar, and there's your preview. It will play the music. It will show you the video. It will present the photo. It does so much just by hitting the space bar. You can't do that on iPadOS. Why? Because it's a touch interface first. And no, I'm going to reiterate again, I do not believe in cannibalizing the cells. I don't think that's a stance because Apple doesn't care. They said on record they operate as a small business. No matter how big they get, they treat the business, the operations of it, as a small business, which means they only have one bottom line. There's only one. You got to be making more than what you're spending, and then that's a profit. One bottom line. And may the best product win, okay? So I don't believe in the cannibalization of the cells either. What else? That's crazy, man. It's just like iPad has all the stuff there because here's the thing that iPad has. It has a better front-facing camera, Face ID over Touch ID, so it's seamless, it's smooth. The apps are optimized for a one-for-one. You can have there's better apps on iPad than like in-house than what's on the Mac. Even if you can port it to the Mac, the fact that you can even port iOS apps and widgets to the Mac says that macOS is better. That it can do that just within your own little ecosystem. Man. But Face ID is more efficient, seamless, quicker. It has better camera than even today's MacBook Pros, than the Studio Display. Like Face ID, the front-facing camera on iPads are just better. Period. Even the rear camera, not the same as like a 15 or 15 Pro or a 14 Pro or even a 13 Pro maybe, but they're way better than what the Mac can offer. So hardware, even that's the speaker array, the speakers and the mic for that, like everything's great on iPad. That's the point I'm trying to tell you guys. That's the point I'm trying to drive home. But people get hung up on that, like, how dare you come for iPadOS? Like, don't take things so personally. I'm not coming for you or your family or your looks or your financial situation, your living style. Like, I don't care about none of that. But people have been reacting as if that's what I'm doing. No, I'm saying the software is not being fully optimized for the hardware on iPad. And then nobody refutes that stance. That statement is true. An M4 chip, something the Macs don't even have, and it's running an enhanced version of iOS. While our iPhones get a whatever, 17, 18, I don't even know what chip. I don't care. I don't care. Just optimize the software to be better on the chip. I don't care. Call it what you want. I'll even call it iPadOS, fine. But optimize the software for the hardware. The great touchscreen capabilities and the Thunderbolt port. My God. A lot of people were responding to that video talking about DeX, Samsung's DeX, that when you plug it in and then it can like do a full desktop. Yes. And you kind of get that a little bit with like the M chips. They kind of do that a little bit. Let's expand on that. I would even concede. I would give you that it could be more of a limited iPadOS just on the tablet, no keyboard, no, like as a touch interface, it's perfect. It is. But I have an A12X chip doing the same thing today in 2024 that I bought back in 2018, and there is no lag, no slowing down. Like, it's perfect. That shout out for it doing what it did back then. I'll give you that. But the moment we attach a keyboard, any peripherals, and you activate that Thunderbolt port to a display, guys, Now you get a full screen IO. You get a full like desktop experience. It's so close to being right. But then we need to get like file management working correctly. Oh man, we need to get file management working correctly. At no point did I even ever bring up like the calculator thing in that video, because I don't care. I don't care about the calculator. I'll use my watch. I'll use my phone. I'll talk to the voice assistant. I'm tired of activating her, so I'm not saying the name. But I don't care about the low hanging fruit. Like, huh, gotcha. You don't even got to calculate. I don't care. I didn't care when they brought weather app to iPad. I don't care if we get calculator app to come to the iPad. I don't care. I care about the utility of the system. The operating system is the only thing that matters. And it's frustrating. If they would have just kept it in the A series of chips, I wouldn't have felt as strong, maybe. But the fact that they keep beefing the iPad up with such powerful processing, you gotta level with me here, guys. Keep the same like design aesthetics, fine, but empower them. Prove why that's better than an iPhone. Because the iPhone's still going to win. It's the most convenient, the best selling, the most portable, best cameras. Like, the iPhone's not going to be dethroned in its own ecosystem. It's just not. Not for a very long time. No Vision Pro is going to change that. No iPad Pro, no MacBook. Nothing's changing the reign of the kingdom of iPhone. It just won't. But if it's supposed to complement, if iPad is supposed to complement Mac, have it also complement iPhone. If it has the exact same chip, do continuity camera. Bridge these gaps, please. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I didn't know that today's episode was going to be more about iPad, but this is my raw, unedited thoughts about it, and I wanted to be transparent about it. It's on my mind. Because I really, again, and I even asked some people, like, you didn't watch the rest of my video. They were coming for me in the comments, and I was like, you didn't watch the whole video. And the people who did respond said, yeah, I didn't finish it. So you didn't get my full thoughts. So maybe you're not even watching this, and that's fine too. But hear me. Hear me if you're here to listen to my analysis on it. Hear me. I love iPad. I'm rooting for it. I want it to succeed. And I want iPadOS to succeed. And it has everything it needs to do for your base iPad, iPad mini. iPad mini is so perfect because everything that you need from iPadOS works flawlessly on iPad mini. And it's the cheapest. New. But for a Pro, there is a disconnect. And Apple has to know. They understand that. And I don't think they're cannibalizing sales. I don't think they're purposely making the iPad worse while charging more. It makes no sense. I don't know. But I'm rooting for them. Because I love the iPad is my favorite hardware. Period. Just period. You can kind of get away with DeX, right? With the iPad, and even now with a display and a Thunderbolt. And I want that on the iPhone. I swear, hear me now. If iPhone 16 or 17 or whatever gets some variant of like DeX, and what I want the iPad to keep doing kind of rolls over to iPhone. If iPhone is able to become more like iPadOS just for plugging it into a display, utilizing that port, oh man. What sucks about iPad is then great for iPhone. Because of what? Its portability? I don't know, but I would be ecstatic. Because the more iPhone catches up to iPad and like, oh, look what we can do. And then it somehow gets like Stage Manager. And it's not even an M chip. If iPhone could do that, and then all this like AI stuff, right? It kind of forces Apple to improve on iPad OS. I don't know why they're dragging their feet. I don't know. It feels so simple. It's right there. Well, what do I know? Okay, guys, I'm going to end it here. This is a very short episode today, but that's kind of by design because I want to get to editing this AMA video and get that out. And I will get that out today. That is 100% my focus. And whatever happens from there, will happen. You won't see another new video until I'm caught up on the podcast platforms with everything, as well as my YouTube shorts. And once I'm the ones that will become shorts, not every video merits a YouTube short, but the ones that do, and I'm caught up on my backlog of what I need to do to finish that, I will feel good moving forward, and I will have new videos at some point next week. And I mean, at this rate, I've been putting out a video a week and then a podcast a week, so not much is changing, but I am falling behind because there's just more things happening. I got a lot going on in my life. It's hard, and I've always been transparent about that I'm a father first. I'm a family guy first. So the needs of the house come first before anything else. You got to take care of your house before you can do stuff like this. So, some days will be faster, quicker, and better than others. But I've been productive. I have been productive. I was able to do a Telosive podcast today for a little bit. I was able to. I just finished wrapping up a project I was working on musically with a remix collab with a friend. So that had been taking up my time, and I'm gonna get 24 hours. I have other things going on, so we'll come back to all this next week. You will see a new video eventually, but first I need to play catch up. That is now my immediate focus. So much so that there's no music this week still, or intros and stuff like that. So I'm not purposely trying to delay it. I have to prioritize what I need to knock out first. So there's that. Okay, there you go. I didn't even do my I kind of like an intro, but not really, but all the same. I'll at least do the outro. I'll see you guys next week where we can talk about all things beautiful in tech, because tech is art and we're all connected by it. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.